Okay, this one is I hurt my INFJ and they're not talking to me. Now what? Okay, within my temperament, INFJ, honestly, if something hurts or something doesn't make sense, or I don't know, something doesn't go correctly, then the function, the introverted thinking, usually kicks in. That can mean one of two things. It means what I'm physically, independently, on my own doing in my environment. Either physically or intellectually. Usually I go off on my own and think long and hard and try and make sense of it, to simplify it, to understand what happened. That's introverted, so that means my type wouldn't necessarily verbalize that until they came up with some kind of conclusion that they can live with or make sense to them, or they can rationalize. Then they'll probably share it. So it isn't really something that you would discuss with somebody else. It's something that privately takes place within your own mind. So they're not punishing you like the silent treatment or something strange like that. It's usually that they go off by themselves to try and make some form of rational sense of what's going on, and in a way that they can handle it the best and most productively. So just give them some time, and once they come to some kind of understanding, some kind of closure, then they can move on. Usually after that, if they decided that it can work, or that they do understand, then they'll go back to you and discuss it. Or if you keep pushing them at the time, they're going to start arguing and being like very verbally combative with you, and go almost kind of like tit for tat intellectually, you know, trying to prove that they know from their point of view. I do this in the heat of some arguments, and biting sarcasm, and not really sarcasm, more like criticism, and go tit for tat intellectually with you. And that's not a healthy approach either. Just let them walk off and give them some time to think about it for a while, and they'll come back. Otherwise, if they've decided, you know, my temperament decides that like it's over, then usually after some time and they form their decision and something they can live with, then they'll become indifferent. They won't think lowly of you or highly of you or anything. That it's, I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or how exactly it works, but you just don't wish the person ill or good or anything. It's just total indifference, and then they can get on with their lives, and they expect you to do the same. So I don't know, I guess my temperament's kind of weird that way, but it works well, and that way there aren't any, I don't know, lasting feelings. When things get really hairy is when you sit there for a while and try and come up with a decision, and you just can't, and then you're kind of stuck there until you finally do. Sometimes, yeah, that can even take years, where like you're treading water because you still can't make sense of it. In those cases, I think it is best to talk to somebody else about your feelings or about your understandings with it, and get an outsider's point of view on it, and they can help you come to a decision or a closure that is, I don't know, most beneficial, you know, to everyone, and something that can have my temperament, you know, be at ease with that decision. Because sometimes we can really get stuck, and then we're going to stay stuck until we reach that outside help. But hopefully that helps you to understand how or at least from my point of view, the INFJ, my own temperament, responds to being hurt, or how they cope with it. Until later, goodbye.